Hello! I feel quite nervous to film this video because I don't feel so comfortable with my English anymore. So I'm already very sorry if I cannot find the right words or if I mispronounce something, but I love these kind of knitting podcasts. So I thought I finished a few pieces, so why not give it a try and show you what I knitted. Since summer ended, where I often don't feel very inspired to knit because it's often too warm and I don't have time because I spend most of my time in the garden, I feel very much more inspired than in autumn and winter when I have a lot of time and it just feels very cozy to knit. So I finished a few things the past couple of months, and maybe we just start with the one that I'm wearing, even though I finished it most recently. And there's a little background story. I have one more cardigan, which is the same pattern, and this one I finished first. And the idea was that I wanted to recreate a babaà sweater, number 23 in particular, because I really love their sweaters and cardigans, but I just don't have the money to buy myself one. And so I thought, since I'm kind of an advanced knitter, I might be able to just knit myself one. And I started with this one, which is a little bit thinner than the one that I'm wearing, because I used drops napalm, and I thought brown was really lovely, but yeah, it turned out a little bit thin, so it's not falling as stiff and cozy like the babaà ones, but the yarn is really soft, even though it's 100% wool, and I like how it turned out in general. It's just not what I thought it should be, but that's this one. And then a little bit later I found a poncho second-hand for just a few crowns, Swedish crowns, and it was 100% Icelandic wool, which I really liked. And I always thought about buying knitted pieces second-hand and then frog them and knit something else out of it, because this way you can find yarn quite cheap and maybe create something new out of a piece that hasn't been worn so much. So that was the idea. I frogged this one, and then I gave the yarn a bath and put them in bowls, and then I was thinking a lot about what I should knit. My first thought was that I would knit a chunky sweater, but then in the end I couldn't stop thinking about this babaà number 23, and I thought maybe I should give it a try to knit it with a little bit thicker yarn. So in the end I decided to knit the same pattern again, and maybe it's also important to mention that I used the pattern Seoul cardigan by Mochi Knits, but I changed quite a few things. I will link my Ravelry page if you would like to have more details on what I changed. In this case it's mostly that I adjusted the length to my liking. I made it a little bit cropped, and then I didn't use the pleat that she integrated in the sleeve, and I made a double knitted button band. Yeah, so it looks more like the babaà number 23. And yeah, so I knitted this one, and I was chancing because I just had 660 grams of this yarn, and I wasn't quite sure if that would be enough to finish this sweater or this pattern, because I also knitted it in a size large. This one was size medium, I think, and I felt like it was not as oversized as I wanted. So I decided to size up, even though this yarn is thicker. So I was just hoping that it would work out. I also did a little bit of research and ended up in being convinced that this would be a la Sloppy in number 86. So I thought if it wouldn't be enough yarn, if I would need to buy more, I could try to order that, and we're just hoping that it would fit, that it would be the right color and yarn. So yeah, so I started knitting this one, and when I finished the body, I realized that I haven't had enough yarn to finish the bottom band and the color, and maybe also the pockets. So I did a little bit more research. I started doubting myself about the color, so I ordered color 76 instead, and of course it was not the right color. It was 86 like I thought from the beginning, and I shouldn't have doubted myself, but lesson learned. So I went to the local yarn shop, and they had the color map there of alla Sloppy, so I ordered the right color and bought one more ball of yarn, which was enough to finish everything, just not the pockets, but I don't mind. I think I like it without the pockets as well. And you can also see this is how the sleeves look like, but I really like it when you have a shirt under or a blouse or something, you can just put it up like this. So that's the story behind it. And the thing is that I still am not 100% happy with the results. I mean, now that I have it on and I see it on images, it's quite nice. But there's my dream yarn that I can just not stop thinking about. It's the crayon, I think it's called, by De Natura, but it's really expensive and it's really out of my budget. So my idea is to maybe sell these 2 sweaters and then use that money to buy my absolute dream yarn that I would like to knit this pattern in. So knit this pattern a third time. Third time is the charms, and then hopefully have like the perfect babaà number 23 replica in the end. Yeah, I'm not sure yet, but I think I might sell these 2 and then buy that yarn and knit the sweater again, or the cardigan again. But at this point, at least, I really know the pattern well, and I also know that I will like this kind of style or this kind of cardigan. So if I would then purchase that very expensive yarn, I would at least know that I like the end result in the end. So yeah, there was these 2 projects. These were like the bigger projects that I was working on, and then I had a few smaller projects at the beginning of winter, because I fell in love with these triangle scarves that you can wear as headscarves, and I often feel like I don't feel very comfortable wearing hats, but in winter, especially here in Sweden, the winds can be very cold and I have very sensitive ears, so I knitted myself 2 of these triangle headscarves. This one is in merino wool. I think it's Easy Care Classic, but I cannot remember the brand. Maybe it was Mayflower. I don't know. But I have very sensitive skin, so it had to be some kind of merino yarn. And I think it turned out very pretty. I wore it a lot already. And it's a little bit bigger. So I can tie it around my neck in the back, and it will keep my it will keep my neck warm as well. This is the first one, and then I had one more. I thought I often knit just in like very natural and earthy colors, like brown and beige and cream. but I wanted a little bit of color, maybe like this muted wine red. I felt it would be really pretty around Christmas. And this one is a little bit shorter or a little bit smaller, so you can just have it around your head and tighten the front. But it's very soft as well, because again it is merino wool. And I just used a free pattern on Ravelry, so nothing special, just a triangle scarf. And then I also started with some new socks. Very simple, no special pattern. I just self-drafted this with a boomerang heel, and this is 100% wool. I have so many sock yarns left, or not particular sock yarns, but it's very thin wool, and I thought I wanted to make socks with it, but it's like laying in my yarn basket for so many months already, I think maybe 2 years. So I really wanted to knit some new socks now. And my other socks that I knitted over the past couple of years, they are starting to get holes, so I really needed some new socks. But I also, I don't have it here now, but I tried out a new mending technique for socks, because some of my socks often, apparently I don't know how you say it, I go I don't know, my English is really bad. Whatever, I get holes at the bottom, at the front, around the toe area. So I started to mend these, but at some point this part is getting so thin that it doesn't make sense anymore to mend it. So I tried this new technique where you pick up stitches where it still is like normal, where this thin area starts, and you pick up stitches, and then you just cut on top of them. So then you can knit a whole new toe area at the top. So then you have a new sock. And if you have yarn left of the same yarn as you knitted the sock, that would be perfect, because then you just have a new sock. I didn't, so I just used a yarn in a different color, which had the same needle size, basically. And it worked perfectly. Now I can at least save the upper part and use that for a while again. Yes, so that's what I tried. And then I had another mending project, and that's the last project that I had the past couple of weeks. It's this vintage cardigan, which I found secondhand, but it had a color that was opening up, like a triangle color, but it was very discolorated, and then it also had a lot of holes all over the body, and one of the sleeves almost fell off because it was so wasted and it had so many holes. So I unfolded in the sleeves and sewed them on, and then I also did a folded collar and sewed it in, so you could not see the discoloration anymore. And I mended the holes around the body. But I really think it's pretty, and it looks handmade. It has no tag, so I think someone spent a lot of time and love knitting this one. And so this way I hope somebody has the opportunity to wear this and love it a few years more. Yes. So these are all my projects. I think I will focus on maybe selling these cardigans, and then purchase my dream yarn and knit the same pattern again. That might be my bigger project for the next couple of weeks, and then knitting more socks so I can finally get rid of all my sock yarn stash. And then I'm also dreaming about, regarding the headscarves, about one of these big lace headscarves in like a cream white or something. I would feel like that's very elegant. But we will see. That are the ideas for the next couple of months. So yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe it was a little bit inspiring we will see if I will continue with this. I do not do so many projects at the same time, so I'm not sure if it's so interesting to show you what I'm knitting if it's not like a big amount of projects. But maybe once in a while I can just show what I knitted over the past couple of months or so. We will see. I wish you a wonderful day and take care.